Use code Proxidus for 20% off anything at G Fuel. Everyone has a certain game that they can't stop playing. And I'm not talking about the game that's designed to keep you coming back, you know, like a live service game which is just designed to waste your time and your money. I'm talking about the games that are made to just be played through once and you can just drop it, but you never uninstall it and keep opening it up every now and then to just do a yearly playthrough or something. You know the ones I'm talking about, the games that really resonated with you for some reason. I have quite a few of those games and I thought it'd be interesting to talk about them today. So let's get started. The first one that I keep coming back to is Killing Floor 1. Now, this is a strange one because you're probably thinking like, wait, Killing Floor 2 and 3 is out now? Why would you go back to the first Killing Floor? And there's quite a lot of reasons for this. One, Killing Floor 3 is a piece of shit, dog shit game that is not worth your time and is never going to get redeemed. Despite what I said in my original video, it is just not good. And Killing Floor 2 is a bloated mess that is 100 plus gigabytes. And whilst it is a good time, it just can't beat Killing Floor 1. Something about Killing Floor 1 is just, it's my favorite co-op zombie shooter ever. And I think it is the horror and the atmosphere. I mean, the gameplay itself is great. It's a little bit janky. There's no run button. You actually have to equip the knife to move faster. But the atmosphere of Killing Floor 1 is just, it is thick horror atmosphere. It feels incredibly unsettling to play and I love that shit, especially on the developer made maps like West London or the Biolabs. It is just a good shit game. It's fun to just find a server to play with your friends, to play a round or two. And I also love how British it is. Like every single character in the game is incredibly British with the voice lines they say.
Knob off, you tosspot!
And Killing Floor 2 and 3, they strip back the Britishness and it's just a shame. It kind of lost its identity with the second one, I can't lie. And Killing Floor 1 will always be the GOAT. It will always be the best one. It will always be the one I come back to. It is the most concise, fun one to play, and it also scares the shit out of me and I can't play it alone still because I find it too scary. But I always open it every now and then just to, you know, just to relive the joy and be sad because we're never going to get another Killing Floor like this again. The next one I want to talk about is Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, which is probably quite confusing because why Rift Apart out of every single Ratchet & Clank game? Well, one, it's on Steam, so I can easily play that shit on my PC or my Steam Deck. Yes, it runs on the Steam Deck, surprisingly. It runs pretty well on the Steam Deck, actually, all things considered, especially how good it looks. By the way, this was designed for the PS5, and it can run on this. Why do I own you? But I don't know, it's just such an easy game to play through. It's not very long. I love the Ratchet & Clank formula. And yeah, the story's not amazing, but the Ratchet & Clank stories haven't really been good since Tools of Destruction back on the PS3. So it's just something I've come to just accept, you know? We're not going to get a good story from this series again. Insomniac are not very good writers, let's be real. We saw how Spider-Man 2 was. But the gameplay is there. It is such a good time. And while we're on the topic of Ratchet & Clank, I also keep replaying the first one. I emulate it. I play it on the PS2 and my PS3. There's just something about the first game. It is my favorite in the series, and I just keep coming back to it. These are the two that I play the most, which is a weird combination because they both play completely differently, but I just keep coming back to them because they're such a good time. Speaking of such a good time, Prey 2017. This is, and I'm not exaggerating, one of the best games ever made, and it did not deserve the hate it got. I know it has the same name as Prey 2006, but that is not the game's fault. That is Todd Howard's fault. That is Bethesda's fault. So give this game a try if you haven't already. It is the most finely crafted experience you can have anywhere. This is a game where you can actually do anything. If you can think it, you can accomplish it. There is no restrictions in this game of how you can tackle objectives. And I'm not talking about the Ubisoft type thing where it's like, oh, you can tackle these in any way you want, but it just boils down to stealth or going in loud and killing everyone. Prey actually allows you to think outside the box and fuck around with the game's geometry and the game's mechanics to overcome different objectives and puzzles. And the game has different power-ups that you can unlock with different builds, which just increases the replayability tenfold. It is an amazing experience. Arcane Austin are dead now, and the developers are probably scattered around a bunch of different studios, but Prey is still there. It goes down to dirt cheap prices. You have to play Prey. Prey is just it's so good. It's not even an exaggerate. I'm not even exaggerating here. It is it is one of the best games ever made, and it's why I keep coming back to it. Just the variety of how you can tackle different things. It is so well made, and I fucking love it. It also has a good aesthetic, and it's what I use for my outro music. That's from this game, and it was by Mick Gordon. Speaking of Mick Gordon, Doom Eternal. I just keep coming back to this because it's so fun. It's my favorite first-person shooter ever made. Just the way this game is designed, it can never be done again, and they know this, which is why they made Doom the Dark Ages the way it is, and I respect them for doing that, because if we got Doom Eternal 2, I would be sad, because Doom Eternal was the peak. This is the peak. It is so good. It is such a good experience. Depending on what you play it on can determine how good the experience is for you. For example, I played this on PlayStation because I got the collector's edition after pre-ordering it on PC, and I beat it on PC, absolutely loved it, and then I played it on console with a controller, and it felt like a completely different game, and not a very good one. So Doom Eternal is something I keep coming back to, but only on PC. I haven't even finished it on my PlayStation. I just can't bring myself to do it. It does not feel designed for a controller. I don't know what it is. This makes me sound like such an elitist prick, and it is 100% a skill issue, but it just doesn't feel right. It feels like it's designed for mouse and keyboard with how fast paced it is, and yeah, I just love playing this game. The next one that I keep coming back to without fail is Dark Souls 1, and only Dark Souls 1. I don't really play the other ones. I even play Dark Souls 1 more than Elden Ring, which might come to a surprise to a lot of people, but I think the main reason why is because Dark Souls 1 is not an open world game. I think the fact that Elden Ring is open world kind of brings down replayability a bit, because it adds a lot of tediousness to just going around to get your build ready, because you have to go through a bunch of empty space and avoid all the things that you know is just filler crap. Dark Souls 1 doesn't have that. It is this finely, tightly knit experience in this incredibly well designed world, and it is one that I just gotta say, you just gotta play it for yourself. It is clunky, don't get me wrong, it is incredibly clunky, but it's the best Dark Souls game for a reason. Don't let any Dark Souls 2 fan tell you otherwise, because Dark Souls 1 is the best one, and you can tell with Dark Souls 2 and 3 they really wanted to recreate that magic again, and they just couldn't do it, because Dark Souls 1 is the best, and I keep coming back to it. I also keep coming back to Hi-Fi Rush, and that's because it is a character action game, and these games are just meant to be replayed. You can go back to any mission or replay it on any difficulty with all your upgrades, all the combos you've bought, so it's just an absolute blast going through all the set pieces again, especially the Invaders Must Die part. So hearing them in this game is peak. Same with Nine Inch Nails. Two of the bosses use songs from Nine Inch Nails, and they're both absolute bangers. I actually got into Nine Inch Nails because of this game. So it has incredible gameplay, incredible replayability, and it just has the vibe down to a T. I keep coming back to Hi-Fi Rush, and I don't think I'm ever going to stop playing it. Tango, please make a Hi-Fi Rush 2. I think you are working on a Hi-Fi Rush 2 under Crafton, but yeah, just bring it out. Come on. Give us it. While we're on the topic of character action games, the Devil May Cry series, minus Devil May Cry 2, it's the same reason why I keep playing Hi-Fi Rush. You know, you get to keep all your abilities, all your upgrades, and you get to replay the missions and all the set pieces with all of that intact on different difficulties, and it's just an absolute blast to experiment with all the different combos and gameplay features in every single one of these games, apart from Devil May Cry 2. I'm even talking about the reboot here. The reboot is also very fun to replay, and I'm going to be making a main channel video as to why that game is actually good at some point in the future. I just got to get through Devil May Cry 2. Just got to make a video on that one. I'm not looking forward to that. The main game I keep coming back to though is obviously The Evil Within. I mean, what else would it be at this point? The Evil Within, it just keeps bringing me back. It's just because it's such a good game. Remember what I said about Prey? Imagine that, but tenfold. That is The Evil Within. Come back to see Sebastian's tight, beautiful ass running around on my screen. Isn't it a brilliant game? Best game ever made. We need a third one. Tango, remember what I said about Hi-Fi Rush 2? Scrap that, make The Evil Within free. Evil Within free, Hi-Fi Rush 2 can wait, because we need The Evil Within free now. And I'm going insane because I keep replaying the first one. Not the second one, because the second one has mini open worlds and that kind of drags down the replayability. But the Evil Within one, I keep coming back to it because it is so peak. Such a good game. Give us a third one. Also, a huge thank you to my Patreon supporters, Pitstab, Bouncer Storm Productions, and Daniel Levchenko. I also want to give a huge thanks to my channel members, or channel member because I only have one currently. But thank you so much, Resistance Lion, for being the first channel member of this channel. If you want to get your name shouted out at the end, then check me out on Patreon and maybe consider becoming a channel member. I'm gonna give more perks to channel members at some point. I need to make some like emotes or something. But yeah, thank you so much for the support, fellas.